Hey there everybody, in this video we're going to cover something that might be a controversial topic because I know that people have a lot of very strong beliefs around this, and that is specifically, should you finance your rig or should you buy it for cash? Should you use any financing when it comes to your truck or your vehicle and helping to support this lifestyle? So in this video I'm going to get into it. I'm going to explain what we did, what's working for us, and kind of what the reality of full-time RV living is. So let's get into today's video. My name is Brandon Brashears, and in this channel I help you to design and develop a business that's going to support your lifestyle. And today's video I think is pretty relevant because when you're doing full-time RVing or traveling, you want to make sure that you're making the right decision, you're not getting in over your head, and you're not going to be in a position that you're going to be stuck. And I think that was the biggest fear for us, is were we going to be stuck? Were we going to be in a place where we weren't able to handle our finances, and all kinds of fears that pop up as a result of not knowing what it's like. When we got our RV, we got it in November, and we were initially planning on doing a pretty widespread traveling up and across the West Coast, and then we weren't sure where we were going to go after that. But we did know that we wanted to travel, we wanted to spend more time with our family, and we wanted less things in general. The pandemic really changed that and shifted our plans, and now we're in Idaho, and we're actually buying a piece of land that we can use as our home base in case shutdowns happen again. But I'm hoping that things open up to some kind of normalcy again and we're able to travel. But really today's topic is about financing. And I know that especially a lot of people that follow Dave Ramsey believe that debt in particular is really, really bad. And I can understand why they believe that. I think that if you're trying to do full-time RVing as a way that you're going to have low cost of living, maybe live on a fixed income or live on savings or things like that, I can understand why you wouldn't want to have a huge amount of outgoing debt. I think that a lot of the really successful business people that I know believe that debt is a tool, and I think that that's totally true. If you use debt properly, it can really help to serve growth. I heard one of the most successful people that I know, he's a multi-millionaire. So one of the most successful people that I know, he's a multi-millionaire, and he said that if you're not using debt, then you're a slave to income. And what he means by that is that if you don't leverage either other people's time or other people's resources or other people's money, which is what debt is, you're going to have to generate enough income to provide for whatever it is that you're doing. And I know that for some people, especially if you're not looking to start a business, or if you're not looking to grow a business or grow an empire or something like that, where you're going to be needing to get access to capital and access to work talent and all these other things, then debt doesn't serve you because it just adds to the difficulties that you have. With us, we did decide to finance our rig and our truck. Back in November, I felt like the market was really, really unstable, and I was worried that there was actually going to be an economic crash, and so I decided that I wanted to get a new truck and I wanted to get a new rig, and I wanted to finance them both as much as possible because I wanted to preserve my capital so that I could have working capital for my business, and having cash in the bank that could then cover the bills that we had was a lot more important to me than being debt-free. So the rates that we got on our truck and on our rig, we financed it actually through State Farm, which I wasn't even aware that State Farm did financing, but it was extremely good terms. We got almost 0% on our truck. We did put a pretty good chunk down because we wanted to get our payment under a specific amount, and then we put only a couple $1,000s down on our rig. And I know that people are going to say that that probably wasn't the wisest thing to do, but I think that to preserve capital, especially with employees and things that we have, if we found ourselves in a spot where we needed to use cash, or I think having cash in the bank is so vital to that peace of mind and security. And on top of that too, we knew that we were going to be going full time, so there was going to be an interim period where we had the house that we were renting in Southern California, which was insanely expensive, and then we had all of the other expenses with that, plus storage of the RV, plus car payments and all kinds of things. We knew that as we transitioned out of that lifestyle, it was going to dramatically reduce our cost of living. And so, or at least we hoped it would, and I'll definitely do a video on the reality of, is RV living affordable? But what ended up happening for us is that it was extreme reduction in costs for us. And so it totally made sense. If we would have saved up cash to be in a place where we could buy a brand new truck and a brand new rig, cash, that would have really prevented us from taking the step to get full time. So if credit and cash makes sense, at least that you'll be able to cover your bills, especially if you're considering buying an RV while you're still in a sticks and bricks house, I think it definitely makes sense. But again, it completely depends on you. But I just wanted to kind of give an alternative perspective, though, because I think that having debt on your truck, and I know it's not there's nothing about this RV that is an investment for us. It's a place to live, just like a rental house, or I don't consider your primary residence an investment either. Investments make you money, liabilities cost you money. That's the most simple kind of definition of liabilities and of investments. And so we are considering this as a loss, but we're living in it right now. We're going to be living in it for a long time, and we're going to have it for a long time. We're not planning on selling it. When we do end up having a house, we're going to use it as a guest house for when people come over and visit. And so that plan from the get-go, and understanding that this isn't an investment. We're not looking to make money or preserve money with this, but we're just using it as a vehicle to have more family time, to enjoy our family time, and really to kind of enable us to live the lifestyle that we wanted to live. And so if you're looking for RV living as an alternative lifestyle to rentals or home ownership or things like that, then I would really, really suggest looking at financing options, because it'll help you kind of get where you want to be faster. There definitely was risk in that before we got the RV, we didn't know if we would love it or not. And I think that's probably the biggest risk that we were worried about, is if we buy an RV and we're seriously committed to it, will we actually love it enough? Because if we decided to turn around and say, we hate this, we have to sell it, we would be upside down in it. And so just understanding that, and is that an acceptable loss for us to take? And at the time, it absolutely was. And luckily that didn't happen, and we love the RV. But we wouldn't have been able to go as quickly. We wouldn't have been able to buy the kind of rig that we wanted to buy. And that was really important to us too. We wanted a rig because we knew we were going to live full time in it. We have 3 kids and my wife and a leopard gecko. And we wanted a rig that wasn't going to feel like we were camping or roughing it, or we didn't even want to feel like we were going to be missing out on anything. And the only thing that I feel like I'm actually missing out on, and the only thing that I do miss, is a dishwasher, because I wash all the dishes. But other than that, we feel like we're in a house, and it doesn't feel like an RV in the terms of like camping. I'm an Eagle Scout, and I used to go camping all the time. And if we were living the lifestyle where we were having to take kids to the showers, or like even going to the laundromat, we have a laundry unit on our rig, and we just have everything that we need here. And we even have a deep freezer that we put in the kitchen, and it's awesome because we don't have to go to the store that much. So we're able to really feel like we are living completely normal, it's just a lot smaller, and we have less things, which is awesome because it only takes a couple hours to clean the rig, and we don't have to spend days organizing the house and things like that. And so if you're considering full-time RVing, I think that's a few things that you need to consider. Number one, if you're going to finance your truck or your RV, is it something that if you decided you hated it, or if things changed in your life, would you be okay with taking a loss? Because I think most of the time if you finance, unless you put a significant down payment down, you're probably going to take a loss. And then number two, can you afford the payments? The cost of living that we are saving, no joke, thousands of dollars. And maybe I'll do a video where I get into specifics about that. So, and if you would like to know what are the specifics, especially if you're coming from an expensive area, like we came from Southern California, I don't think there's many places that are more expensive than that, probably New York and San Francisco. But really, it was insane how expensive things were. Everything from gas to taxes to cost of living to electricity to utilities. Our utility bill just for electric was as much as our space rent for our RV. And so, I mean, it was insane. And so to say like, oh, you should have waited to buy debt-free, it doesn't make sense because we're saving so much money now. If we wanted to pay off our rig and our truck, we absolutely could, but we would like to preserve capital to make investments. We're buying a piece of land now that land is really hard to finance, so we can't do financing with that. We have to buy it. And so if we had spent all our money on our rig and our truck, we wouldn't have been able to do that. So just some things to consider. I think having cash in the bank gives you flexibility, and as long as you're sticking to your guns and sticking to your plans, financing the RV definitely makes sense. I hope this was helpful. If you have any specific questions, let me know. I would love to know, did you finance your rig or did you buy it cash, and what was your thinking behind it? And I would love to hear your thoughts on this. All right, everybody, have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video. Be sure to subscribe. If you liked the video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it, and tell me why you didn't like it. I hope you have a great day, everybody.